Welcome to the next part in our series where we go through what it's like to work with a personal injury lawyer in your personal injury case. This part of the series is documents and evidence. This is after the intake and before we do the demand. So documents and evidence is a very intensive part of the case. It's where we gather everything to prove the case. One of the first things that we get is a driver exchange of information form. We most likely will get that from the client in a crash case. And then that will lead us to getting the full crash report later. Also, there might be an incident report if it was, for example, at a store, there was a slip and fall and not a car crash or something like that. So we get the first report of the incident. Second, and you've heard me talk about this before, we get all the digital evidence, photos and videos, all the really important stuff that, like they say, a photo is 1,000 words. We really need lots of photos and videos to prove our case. Investigations at that point can be as easy as nothing else. If it's a rear end collision, it's a car crash and everybody knows it and the insurance company has accepted liability, there's not much more that we need at that point. It can go as in depth as a trucking accident case. In a trucking accident case, we get things like drone footage of the scene. We map the truck after we inspect it. We download EDRs. We have experts review every part of the truck and brakes and tires and things like that. So it can be as little at that point as nothing, or as much as a big trucking case doing those kind of things to prove liability. At that point, also, we're receiving some of the things that we had sent out for previously, such as the request for insurance information. We can find out at that point, how big is the insurance policy? We might need to ask if the insurance is not enough, if the person or corporation has money to cover a claim. We start doing witness interviews. We interview family members. We can do an interview of various different types of people. We can hire private investigators to conduct interviews as well. We can obtain the client's medical records, and then we can obtain records from any public entity through either a public records request or just online through things like Sunbiz or property appraiser websites, where we conduct thorough searches of anything that might be needed in the case. So that is all the information we gather through documents and evidence. And stay tuned for the next part in our series, which is going to be making the demand.